Hey guys, we are back. This is the last Comic-Con event that I was wanting to cover. It's an evening with Kevin Smith. I'm a fan of all of his movies. You know, even the worst ones, I find some quality of endearment in them. But the View Askew universe was just one of those like sets of films that I grew up on. I love him to death. I listen to his podcast. You know, regardless of your opinion on him, I think he's just so entertaining to listen to in general. And I know because I was listening to his Fat Man Beyond podcast the other day that he's going to be showing a trailer for his horror movie Killroy at this. So I'm curious to see what that looks like because I've heard him talk about it quite a bit. But it looks like it's something they've already filmed and already put together. But I'm curious to see what it shows off and just, you know, just to hear him talk because he loves to hear him talk. I love to hear him talk. Let's hear him talk. After I have the audio play in the correct place. There we go. That's better. What up, Sonic Ray?
Hey man, it's me, Kevin
Yeah, I don't
Smith,
expect a lot of people to show up for this one, but
San Diego
I said I'd do it, so I'm doing it.
Just like all of 2020, it's all taking place on your computer or your phone because nobody exists in the real world anymore. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to 12 Monkeys. We're one step away from being under the earth and sending Bruce Willis up to capture spider specimens. And let me tell you something. I would volunteer Bruce just like that, man. He's hardy. He can live up there and stuff. And he's a hero. We all know that. He dies hard. So this is not the way we expected to see each other this year. I suspect this is the workings, all of this, not having a San Diego Comic-Con for the first time ever has to do with you Hall H line, man. And I don't mean the people in line each other, although I'm sure that happens as well. I know it happens as well. Not that I've done it. But
oh my God, there's going to be so many censor bars in this. No, not censor bars.
Doesn't need to see this. Silent Bob says, I think it's the people who wait in line in Hall H hours, if not days, to see their favorite panel and have made this wish, cursed the heat and made this wish. Ooh, I wish there was a better way to go to a Hall H panel. You got your wish. We're all indoors, man. COVID has us running scared like that. Now you get your little
people have been wanting this for like such a long time,
man, right here on the internet. Let's be honest, that was always the way for a lot of people. People would sneak in cameras. Some years I didn't go to those Marvel panels were hard to get into. So as soon as the Marvel panel ended and what was happening, I would surf YouTube and Twitter and find the people who are in the back going like this because. Hey man, I don't need to.
Yeah, we're going to be seeing him soon. You know I feel like it.
Like,
Sonic.
I didn't experience history. And like I'll read about him.
We're gonna be seeing some Grundy soon.
Beat the Germans, good. So same thing.
3 episodes to go, and he's
like I didn't
mostly been locked up.
To watch,
he's gonna get set free.
Marvel drop announcements, particularly the year that somebody got stabbed in Hall H in the leg with a protractor. Remember that? And all the Avengers were there. Nobody did a. Those Avengers saved the universe. Didn't save that guy's leg from a protractor. So for all those folks who were like, "Oh man, Hall H, what a pain in the ass." Here you go. Easy peasy, man. This is fantastic. Happy to be here with you. It's been a while. It's been a year.
Hopefully.
Don't touch your face, Kev.
You don't.
Since the last
hear my
time
fan.
we had a
It's a little toasty in here, so I apologize.
So just to quickly update you on my we remember last year during the Hall H, I was talking about Jay and Silent Bob Reboot. Last year at the Thursday morning of Comic-Con last year, we, as the kids say, dropped the trailer for Jay and Silent Bob Reboot and put tickets up on sale for the Jay and Silent Bob Reboot Roadshow Tour, which went
and they sold out
phenomenally, man. We had
too fast for me to get a ticket
all across North America. Me and Jay were at half of them together for every show, and I was at the other half by myself for every show and stuff. So I was there for every screening of the movie, man. We even went over to England and showed it like 5 times there as well. Packed houses. We sold 65,000 tickets. It was amazing. I don't think I'll ever have this experience again, at least until they come up with a vaccine. Looking out and seeing 1,000 or 1,500 people a night, that's nuts, man. Now that's like a nightmare, a COVID-induced nightmare and stuff. So hopefully somebody smarter than all of us figures out, or maybe somebody watching, man, figures out a cure and stuff. Maybe one day we could all get in the same room together like we did right before the end of the Jay and Silent Bob Reboot Roadshow tour, which I loved every night of it. I thank anyone who went on the tour, man. Honestly, one of the greatest times of my life, man.
What's
like
the Fathom Events version of it?
Touring that movie,
since they didn't actually have a real screening
people,
here.
Hugging, shaking hands.
Me and I went and saw it twice, and one of the times me and my brother went to the
was in New Orleans
double feature
on
of
February 26th.
Strikes Back and
Still get itchy
Reboot.
thinking about it, because that was like
so good.
A big hotspot. That was the day after Mardi Gras ended, and then like 3 weeks later in the news, they're like, Louisiana, New Orleans, hotspot, thanks to Mardi Gras. And I was like, ooh, we were there too. So we all went and got tested and whatnot, and I was hoping that I'd had it somewhere on the road and just didn't know it. Not that lucky, haven't had it and stuff. Did that test where they stick up your nose. Very unpleasant, very invasive. Every lady out there was like, you don't know if I'm invasive, but it went pretty damn far up me, man. That's what he said. So it was lovely, beautiful, oh my God, wondrous, and
they probably will eventually.
Was amazing, and I remember as it ended, I was like,
but they'll never call it the Flash universe,
2020
because
was a real
one,
man, like right from
unless
the start, he and then
resets the whole thing again himself later.
You know, yipes. So
it's always going to be the Arrowverse.
Every night I was on stage, man, I described it as like walking out there, hardcore fans watching this flick with us. It was like going to a church every night where I was both the priest and Jesus himself, you know, like being celebrated and being the celebrant, man, surrounded by people that believe in this stuff still. So thank you for still believing in Jay and Silly Bob, man. I had a blast on that
Till
tour.
the
Right
day
before we went
you
on that
die,
tour,
and that will be
me
a
and Jay
sad
did
day.
something historic for us personally, something I never imagined would ever happen in my lifetime. So you've heard of the Chinese Theater, the TCL Chinese Theater, Groman's Chinese Theater, very famous movie theater right here in Hollywood, California, right down the street from my house, to be honest with you. I could walk to it in about 10 minutes. So when I was a kid, you know, before there was an internet, before there was cable TV and like that, I loved Hollywood. You know, it was my thing. I didn't do sports.
I've seen a little bit of Brooklyn Nine-Nine
and like that. So when I was
I haven't
about
seen a
9
lot of it,
years
but I've
old,
seen a few
1979,
episodes, and
my father
it's
said
a
to my
funny
mom,
show.
"The fat one likes Hollywood. Let's take the fat one to Hollywood. Something he'd like." And so me, my
love how
mom, my dad, my
self-deprecating
brother, and
he
my
is,
sister
man.
got on a train, went to California, stopped in Chicago, saw some relatives, then went on to California, to Los Angeles, particularly to Hollywood especially. First stop here was the Groman's Chinese Theater, because only a year before, R2-D2, C-3PO, and Darth Vader had put their feet into the cement. So I knew about the feet in the cement from old-timey Hollywood, but there was someone from my generation. Star Wars was there. So I was like, we gotta go. And we went. And so, you know, there's a picture online, me and my brother sitting kneeling in front of the footprints of the Star Wars
Baby
stars.
Bob.
My father took me around, showed me all the other ones. Like, this is Myrna Loy. She's
Hello.
dead now. This is Jimmy Durante. Remember he had a big nose? He pushed his nose
Jorge
into the cement
Sylvia.
and stuff like that. That's Clark
Silva.
Gable. That's Clint Eastwood. He's pointing out the stars all over and telling
Do
me
I
what
have
they
that right,
did
or
like that.
it's
'Cause
not
he knew I loved that.
Jorge, not George, right?
And then my
Just
old
making
man,
sure
I'll never forget
that I
it,
know
and
my
I've talked
stuff.
about this for almost a year now, if not more. My old man said something that, like, you know, fucking as a parent, you just say to your kid some shit, nice shit to say to your kid, pat him on the head and shit like that. You got a kid that's like, I like baseball. You're like, well, maybe you'll play for the Yankees one day or something like that. Or the Red Sox. I don't want to off Boston fans. So my father says to me, you know, we're looking at all the, you know, handprints, footprints. And since he knew I liked Hollywood and not because I was like, one day I want to be in a film or make films. I didn't have a vision like that. I was 5. My father says to me, 9 rather, I was 9 years old, sorry. My father says to me, hey man, maybe, he didn't say hey man, I added that part. My father says to me, maybe you'll be here one day. In that way that you just
I love the
say
way he
to a
talks
kid.
about his dad. It's
So,
like beautiful.
40 years later,
His book, like
4
it
decades
goes into
is
a
how
lot
long
more
it took.
detail about their relationship, and it's really,
My father was right.
really interesting and
He
touching.
turned out he was right. The good folks at the TCL Chinese Theater, my God, I love them. Ely Samahan, all his people. Beautiful individual.
Favorite hero
They
is Pat,
invited
for sure.
Jay and I into the
villain.
forecourt of the TCL Chinese
I mean,
Theater.
Icicle.
They
It's got to be
also
Icicle
own,
right now.
The theater in San Diego. So during San Diego Comic-Con, we went there, me and Jay, and put our hands in the cement that goes there, and that was beautiful enough. But then they were like, hey, we own the Chinese in Hollywood as well. And they told us at one point, they're like, we're going to make a copy of these, and we're going to put you guys in the ground at Hollywood, too. And I was like, what? Like, we're going to be like in the ground in the forecourt of the Chinese theater? And they're like, yeah, we've already done the thing, so let's. And we said, oh, my Lord, can we do that ceremony where we put our hands in the cement like we did at San Diego, a theater box? Can we do that like at the Chinese theater? And they were like, sure. And so for the premiere of Jay and Silent Bob Reboot, the morning of the premiere of Jay and Silent Bob Reboot, me and Jay, two Jersey kids, got to stand in the forecourt and put our feet in the cement, and put our hands in the cement, write our names.
Do I think we'll see Courtney's dad?
History.
Biological
Blew my mind. I get chills talking about it now to this day.
I don't think we'll see him this
none
season.
None of this life I've got was ever planned or granted to me.
But I do think we will see him eventually.
All this has been unexpected from Clerks on.
He's got a history in the comics.
Shocked to me
so
every single time and stuff. But I'll tell you
unless
this,
they do something different,
even like as
I think
things
we'll see
did
him
work out in my career, and you build a little hope where you're like, maybe I could do like this. Never in a million years did I ever think that we would be in the cement at the Chinese theater. That I would be Jay. That I would be in the cement at the Chinese theater. Ever, ever, ever. And I never would have been. They have directors there. You know, George Lucas, Steven Spielberg, Quentin Tarantino.
Mm-hmm.
But I was never getting into that forecourt as a director. The only reason that I got in is because the man that I stood next to and acted by not saying a word for 25 years helped create something. Because of Jay and Jay's wonderful dynamic, Jay and Silent Bob became a thing enough that two from New Jersey.
I like how sometimes you don't even know what he's saying.
In New Jersey, that means something completely different, man. That's when you sleep with the fishes. But we wound up in the cement at the Chinese theater. I don't know how many people on the floor there in the forecourt hail from New Jersey. I bet you there are a few, but like stars everywhere. The Avengers, you know, the Harry Potter kids, Harrison Ford, I think.
Same here, Peyton.
I mean,
I love Kevin to death.
We got in before Harrison Ford. The Twilight Kid, well, whatever. But, you know, they got
He's such a good speaker, and like I just find it so inspiring, like his story and his
legends,
various stories
and
too.
There's me and Jay off to the side, right by Ethan Hawke, Jenna Rollins. That's pretty dope. There we are. I'm immortalized next to my boy for the rest of my life. I'll be standing next to my boy, even when I'm dead. And years from now,
this is gonna make me cry.
I'm dead. You know, some other parent, some other dad or mom will be bringing their kid to the forecourt of the Chinese theater, and that kid, like I was in 1979, would be like, "Who's that?"
I've been
And that dad will be like,
reading his
"No
book,
idea."
Tough Shit.
Like maybe
It's
I
really
think it's
good.
the guy who was in King of Queens, think. And I guess the one next to him is the lady who played his wife in that show. Jay, it's a girl's name, isn't it? So, what an amazing year 2019 was, man. Making the movie Jay
do I
and Silent
think
Bob Reboot
Brainwave
was
Jr. still
absolute
alive?
Heaven, Nirvana, and
I
stuff
don't
like
think
that.
so,
Torn It
but
was
I want him
wonderful.
to be.
Hands in the cement, feet in the cement, immortalized, if you will. Then the Library of Congress like has this list of movies, the National Film Registry, where 25 films a year they pick and they preserve. Like, you know, these have to be protected at all costs. The government deems it so and shit. America needs these. And they, thanks to folks like you, voting on the internet, they because of Uppy Downey, because of Chris, he put it out there. He was like, he made this wonderful little movie, Shooting Clerks.
I love it.
Which is a biography
so
about
good.
how we made Clerks independently in Scotland, one of the farthest places from Highlands, New Jersey. Not Highlands, Scotland, but Highlands, New Jersey. They made this movie. He put out online, he was like, hey man, let's get this film on the National Film Registry. That's how we got in. We were voted in, like by the public, by people like you. So when I made Clerks 26 years ago, you know, I didn't know if it was going to work out, but I just wanted to see if I could do it. I just wanted to make a movie of my own and see if it was possible. And, you know, I lionized the world I came from and put a spotlight on our little corner of the world. It was hard, and there were days and nights where we were like, you know, it was fun because you're making this thing, but I was putting on my credit card, so I'm like, oh my God, like, what's going to happen to this? If I could go back in time and tell that kid on set, like, keep making this fucking movie, like, pour everything into it, because one day this dopey little movie that you're shooting in black and white in a convenience store in the middle of nowhere, this
remember
is going to be
Sonic
deemed so important that the United States government is going to hide it away in a vault for the rest of your life. Like, that's mind-bending. But again, that don't happen because I did something 26 years ago. That happened because last year, folks like you, folks like Chris, like, went out of your way to be like, give him a break. Give the boy a break. I'm not a boy anymore. I'm almost 50. I'm going to be 50 next month. But boy, you kids make me feel like
he doesn't
a boy
look
all the time.
50.
A boy whose dreams just keep coming true, man. So thank you for that. I love getting awards and like this. Is my ink pot that I got 2 years ago from the San Diego
I agree with you,
Comic-Con.
Peyton. Some of his episodes for The
TV
Flash and
film.
Supergirl
The Ink Pot Award for
been
achievement
some of my
in
favorites.
TV and film. I want to go back in time and tell.
And he has such a rapport
Bill
with
Kevin
them. I'm
Smith
sure
that
he'll be
one day
back
You're going to win an ink pot. And he's
for
going to be like, hey, do me a favor.
some
tell me,
season
does anybody
6 and
buy this
8
movie one
episodes.
day? Because that's all I give a about. And
7?
they did.
7?
So that's what I've been up to previously, heretofore. And then we got home from the tour, right? As the Jay and
6 and
Silent Bob
7.
Reboot Roadshow tour ended February 26th. We came home February 27th or 28th.
I mean,
And
most of
then
the
it
cast was
March
in
1st,
Reboot.
And then all of a sudden, everybody was like, run! And we ran inside and boarded up our windows.
Yeah, most
and
of the
we wrote
Supergirl
"Dead
cast were
Inside" all
cameoed in
over everything
Reboot.
because we didn't want the COVID to come get us. So we've been inside and off the road for a while. So there's not a ton to report in terms of like I've been doing or up to, other than reading the internet, you know, over and over. And
That's scum and villainy.
That, we can all pull out of this and stuff. But there are a few things that I've been spinning. I always try to spin a few plates. So we're going to talk about them right now, man. We're going to go through them, okay? So number one, let's throw up a graphic of some sort. Number one. Okay, so as of me recording this, shooting this, we have done 4 episodes so far. But we could get kicked off every week. If that's the case, disregard this. If that's not the case, go to TBS, their YouTube page, and you could watch Sun in Lockdown, the show, Celebrity Show Off, is on every Tuesday
I forgot
night
about
at,
this.
10 o'clock on TBS and stuff.
I saw
So it was like a goofy little thing that we had fun doing.
I saw a
like
little
as
bit of that.
Little family project. And it's been a blast, man. Like, it's a mini film school. Like, it's kind of like a refresher on shooting, very, you know, basic bare minimums of shooting and stuff like that. Honestly, most fun I've had since Clerks. It's kind of strange to say. It's just weird because you're running and gunning and figuring out and whatnot. It's great. So watch it a lot, and vote it the up. Give me as many clicks as you can, as the kids say, because clicks. They don't say that. Clicks, as the kids say, because if you every week I stay on,
I never watched Degrassi,
TBS
but I've seen that
Show-Off.
clip when he popped
Donates
up in
money
there.
to a charity of our choice, and we chose the National Black Justice Coalition as our charity. So every week I get to stay on the show. Bam, they get more money and stuff like
Villain
that.
for
So
Flash
keep
season
me on the damn
7.
show. Unless I start to suck, then vote me off for my own.
I'm hoping for Red
It's
Death
like
and
putting down an old
Godspeed.
dog. Like, sometimes it has to be done. I don't do that. I wait until the dog dies and stuff.
I have no idea how long it's
for
going to
a
be
penny
for the
and for a
Flash to
pound.
end. And my day's
Till
been
that
pretty
tail
good. The
starts
Zack
wagging.
Snyder panel was really
That
fun
wasn't
and
good.
really
Anyway,
interesting.
We've gone way off the rails, but you know what I'm saying.
That
Celebrity
was the
Show
highlight
Off
of my day
on
so
TBS.
far.
Check it out. Number 2. Okay, for you Motu fans, those of you who are like, where is the Masters of the Universe series? For those that don't even know, I've been working on a show for Mattel and Netflix called Masters of the Universe Revelations. And it's a follow-up to the old show, the classic show, we say, from the 80s, the show everybody knows, the cartoon everybody grew up with and stuff. So it's not us reinventing it. It's not going like everything you knew about He-Man is wrong. It's literally as if we're just telling the next story in that series of
sequel.
stories, man. And our story is very big and connected and stuff, broken into chapters. But I'm telling you, this thing.
The voice
when I
cast
took
is
the job,
epic
I was
too.
like, man, I hope we do it justice. I've seen 5 animatics now. Powerhouse Animation in control of that. Phenomenal. I watch the animatics over and over. I get blazed and just sit there and watch them. And they're bare forms of cartoons, just pencil sketches and black lines on white and stuff. Still, the performances that are cast, and we have an incredible cast, that they're giving, and the Powerhouse Animation is stunning. If I was in charge, I would release these on Netflix, because I bet you people would still be like, that's dope. Thank God I'm not in charge, because they're fully animating this thing, and I've seen the graphics. I've seen like some of the.
Because I think that's the same
painted,
animation house that does
I don't
the
can't give away too much.
Castlevania show.
I've seen a lot.
on
So
Netflix.
I've seen it in animatic form, but I've also seen where we are headed, and it is beautiful. Powerhouse has done a phenomenal job. Mattel, the folks at Mattel have been absolutely lovely to work with. Rob David, who's like my boss at Mattel, he is not just my boss, not just the suit at Mattel. He's a creative as well, and as much as he was writing the He-Man comics for DC.
Favorite
for the
show
last few
ever,
years,
or
Masters
favorite
Universe
show
books.
on air
So
right now?
not only do we have a guy, a good boss who's friendly and fun to be around and funny, but he's also useful. Like, go figure, that never happens.
Which one are you talking about,
creatively
Peyton?
useful
The
as
show
well.
in
And as much as he could be like,
Lockdown
oh,
one,
you could do
or
this, you could do this.
He-Man?
What about throwing this character in? What about Buzz Off? This would be a cool place for Buzz Off. So great, man. Like, to have somebody who's just like adds to the whole thing. And over at Netflix, Ted Biaselli, God bless him, man. This is the greatest Ted in the world, as far as I'm concerned. I didn't really think it through, but I can't think of many better Teds than him. When I think of a Ted, Biaselli comes right to mind.
I'm in
Follow him
the
on
US.
Instagram, Anime Ted. He loves toys, so all of his Instagrams are all.
But
his
I would like
action
to be
figures
anywhere
collection.
else right
when
now.
When I met him, he said, "Look, I love Batman as a kid. I love Star Wars, but Motu, Masters of the Universe, that was my religion. Like, that was my number one." He's going, and when I watched this show when I was a kid, I was always afraid that He-Man was going to get killed by Skeletor. I thought there were stakes, and I grew up and I realized there weren't, and it's a kid's show. He said, all I'm asking you to do is tell a story that makes me feel like I felt when I was a kid again. Make me feel invested in these characters. I want to feel scared for them. I want to feel there are stakes. He said, treat this IP, which means intellectual property, like Shakespeare. That was our marching orders. And thanks to Ted, we made something beautiful. And right here is where I'm going to show you an image. Ready, man? This is the first piece of Motu anywhere. Get ready.
Oh, you can see the emotion
Now.
in his eyes. He's about to cry.
I'm Skeletor.
You tricked us.
Okay, that's not official art whatsoever. That art
was
came
great.
from the great Tim Sheridan, one of our writers on the show, as a gift for when we.
He's the
wrapped up
showrunner and one of the
but boy, oh
writers, I
boy.
think, for this show. He's a
Sexy,
writer,
right?
director,
I look at that
writer.
every day.
I don't know
As
if he's
brilliant
directing
as
it.
this painting is, I think our
But
show's
he's
pretty
heavily
damn great,
involved
too.
in the
I think you're gonna
creation of
enjoy
this
watching
He-Man
it.
show.
I can't thank the good folks who let me play in this playground enough. In fact, I got to give credit to all my writing team. I got Mark Bernardin with me, man. My Fat Man Beyond co-host. I've got Eric Carrasco, who wrote some of my best work on Supergirl. Tim Sheridan gave me this. Dia. They created an amazing show. You know, for the ideas I had, they made them better. They elevated everything. So probably next year this time, around Comic-Con, we'll be having a very serious He-Man discussion with images to look at that are officially from the show and stuff. But for now, one last look. Randor, you blithering boob. Okay, I'm just gonna say,
Oh my
it's
God.
so, what a relief.
I was actually excited to see a
not
picture.
Have to be funny. Now I know some people are out there like, well, then you must always be relieved because you were never funny, solid. Yes, of course, that goes without saying. But generally speaking, when I do like the Q&A for the San Diego Comic-Con, part of it is like, I hope they.
Yeah, I don't know.
laugh.
I'm not
I got a
sure how
room
many
full of
episodes it's
people,
going to
and
be.
better
I would
make 'em laugh and
imagine
stuff like
10
that.
to
But
13
here,
probably.
Oh my God, I could literally just sit here and do therapy with you and talk about the saddest things that ever happened to me, which aren't many. But like, there's no pressure to be funny which is kind of strange, man.
I don't know if he's
I miss the
really
audience.
blazed right now
You're
or
like,
about to
"Move it
cry.
on, stop talking about say something interesting.
Knowing him,
So if you're sitting there going,
it could be one
"This
or the
ain't
other
like as
or
good as
both.
the normal Kevin Smith Hall H Q&A. That might be one of the reasons. All right, on to number 3. If you're like, hey,
There probably will be
I love
eventually.
that Kevin Smith. I love that Kevin Smith, and I would love to club the out of that Kevin Smith. Well, then I got something for you. It's called That Kevin Smith Club. We launched it a few months ago, and it's our online home where we put our entire back catalog of Smodcast podcasts. So all the old episodes of Fat Man on Batman and Fat Man Beyond, all the old episodes of Smodcast, Jay and Silent Bob Get Old, Plus One, all the shows, Edumacation, are there, and we've got the Smithsonian screening room, and one of my favorite things, where you watch stuff, and we've got great old stuff, old Q&As that I've done, old cartoons we've made, old news appearances that I've done, and stuff like that. It's a pretty healthy library. But one of my favorite things about the Smithsonian screening room is 3 times a week we do a show called Wake and Bake. Where I just it's my favorite show because it's easiest to do. I just literally get up, roll a joint, smoke a joint, and just talk about it. So most recently, I was reading from earlier versions of Mallrats 2, Die Hard in a Mall, that I'm not making anymore. So you could hear me do that. I've read from journals like that I kept during the making of Clerks or before the making of Clerks, and then while we were trying to take Clerks out on the road.
This sounds like a lot of good stuff.
I have a journal for the
or at
first
least
day I ever did a
interesting
Q&A,
stuff.
and I read all that so far on Wake and Bake. I love doing Wake and Bake, man. It's a nice 3 times a week trio ritual, man, where people just kind of kick back, watch it, smoke, and we gather together to ask the Lord's blessing. It's a good time over at That Kevin Smith Club. Different members, levels that you could join. You could be a clerk, a mall rat, a fun employee, or a yoga hoser. That's right. The highest level is the movie that nobody likes. That's the point. So
You gotta be committed if you acknowledge yourself as a yoga
there's
hoser.
benefits and whatnot. You get scripts that we're not releasing.
I made it through the
anywhere.
movie, so I can count.
Smith Club. It's got that Kevin Smith on it. We're having a blast there, man. So if you're unfamiliar with it, come check it out and stuff. Hopefully you join up. That'd be fantastic. We do like this Discord meeting where we meet and chit chat. Now we've been doing it like live via Shindig. So you hang out and we do like essentially a Zoom, a Shindig together and stuff. You ask questions and stuff. We have Q&As. I'm having a blast. Come on in. The water's fine. ThatKevinSmithClub.com. Now we're done with 3. 3's done, man. Let's
It's like
head on
Kevin's
over.
personal
4, man. 4 is
Patreon.
exciting. What if you're like, I don't want to pay for a podcast, man? And these are old podcasts and stuff, but still, I don't want to pay for the classics. I want new free podcasts, man. I got one for you. Me and my kid Harley, remember her? She just turned 21. The kid's a vegan.
Oh God!
Please
Grown
don't let
up.
that trigger you. A bunch of people right now are like, well, I'm gonna eat more meat. She's not vegan to make you mad. She's vegan because she likes animals. After I had my heart attack a couple of years ago, 2.5 years ago, as a matter of fact.
Yeah, here we go.
My kid was like, please go vegan, Dad, please. You know, because I had one of those LAD heart attacks, widowmakers, where I had all cholesterol packed into my LAD, into the artery that goes across the front of my heart and shit like that. So she's like, please, please try it. And I said, well, I ate the way I wanted for 47 years. I'll try eating your way for like 6 months. And that was 2.5 years ago. And I've been
Bicycle
vegan
Junior
ever since, man. Used to be happy, now so my kid, gave that to me as a gift. I gave my kid the gift of life, along, of course, with my wife. She did the heavy lifting.
Cheshire, maybe.
Firing, if you will. And then my kid saved me. So I gave birth to save my life, my kid. And so
yeah, I don't know.
To celebrate that, well, it's not even a celebration of that. My kid asked me one day, she goes, how do you do
I know,
podcasts?
right?
I was like,
He doesn't look like he's 50.
She
Or
might as well
almost
have asked
50.
me, how do you play Silent Bob? That's what I want to do. Like, I was like, podcasting, that's my world. She's like, well, I want to do a vegan podcast. And I was like, right on, man, let's do it. And she goes, no, I want to do a vegan podcast. And I was like, yeah, I know. Like, it'd be so fun for us to do a vegan podcast. She was like,
Without
be
you,
involved.
Dad.
And I was like, no, oh no, I could just give you tips, I guess. And then I thought about it overnight, and I was like, oh, kiddo, imagine if you called it like Vegan Abattoir, because we're slaughtering misinformation about veganism. And she's like, that's a good title. I was like, yeah, I'm good for a lot of I'm good when it comes to these podcast things. I've been doing it for like, let me see, 13 years. We started back in 2007, February 2007 with this podcast. So I was like,
Russian hello.
I think, I don't want to pressure you,
American
man. If you don't
hello.
want to do podcasts with
Welcome.
your old dad, go ahead. But I said, honestly, you could use me here, man. Like, I think I could help with this and stuff. Plus, it'd be fun to just sit around and jaw on bullshit, you know, because we share veganism in common. So she was like, okay. And so we started a podcast called Vegan Abattoir, man. When we launched, it was number 2 in all the food podcasts, which the kid was very excited about. I didn't have the heart to be like,
I like how he
number 1
weaseled his way into that podcast.
So if you're into listening to me for free, you don't want to join that Kevin Smith club, Vegan Abattoir, man. You can sign up right now. It's free as But if you're like, I don't give a
Batman on
about
Bat.
don't worry, we don't try to recruit
keep
you,
messing
man.
that
We
up.
just gotta
Batman
answer
Beyond
people's
is
questions.
good enough for
Questions
me
that they
right now.
pose to us, and since we're not experts, we go to the experts, man. Like second episode, we went to Rich Roll and asked him some. So, Vegan Abattoir, man. If you want to listen to a guy talk to his kids
Same.
about eating plants, holy, it's a good time. All right, man. Number 5. If you saw
Just can't
Jay
do
and
it, man.
Silent Bob Reboot, you heard
can't do
the director, Kevin Smith character in the movie, see Iron Bob for the first time come crashing into Chronicon. And at one point he goes, I can't wait till they make him a Funko Pop.
Guess what? Boom.
Dreams
saw
come
that.
true, ladies and gentlemen. The good folks at Funko heard my dreams, and look, it's the Jay and Silent Bob Reboot Iron Bob Pop. There's my face on the back, man. Official
saw them pop this
movie
up
Pop number 543. This is a
couple
Funko
days ago, maybe a
Comic-Con
week ago or something like
exclusive.
that.
They got a bunch of them, man. There's like 50 new Funko Pops that they're dropping just for Comic-Con. And Iron Bob is absolutely one of them. Look at this. Oh my God, this made me so happy. So happy. Piece of plastic hasn't made me so happy since I bought a. This is everything, man. And look at
They
the
stopped
detail. He's got
bleeping
a
it
little
and they
stop
just
sign,
started
little mall
like
parking sign.
muting him.
I love this so much, man. This is like my
That time I knew what he said.
maybe my 7th, 8th Funko Pop of me.
I've got one of Kevin Smith
from the good
and Jay and
folks,
Silent
at
Bob.
Funko. And if you're like, hey man, that Iron Bob is nice, but he's too little. I need a big Iron Bob.
Sonic,
Look behind me.
big
See
no,
that?
I do not.
Come from Robert Kurtzman, man. The
I do
great
not
Robert
think they're
Kurtzman,
related.
Who gave us Tusk and sculpted Marky Mark's and Boogie Nights. That's how famous Bob Kurtzman is. Bob Kurtzman he invented Iron Bob, designed it, built the suit and shit. So he's making these Iron Bob sculptures. You can buy the Iron Bob mask or a little Iron Bob mini bust. They're amazing. Go to robertkurtzmanmufx.com to order one of these puppies. They look heavy as they're light, and the detail is insanely phenomenal, man. So if you were a big fan of Reboot,
3D
those
art,
are 2 options.
sculptures, ceramic stuff like
The
that.
Iron Bob Pop from the good folks.
So
at Funko,
hard for
they
me
might
to
sell
do.
out over the course of Comic
So
Con.
I highly respect
maybe
that.
go
I am
check Jay and Silent
2D
Bob's
only,
Secret
sadly.
Stash in Red Bank, New Jersey, or their website, jayandsilentbob.com, because I have a
My
sneaking
sculptures have
suspicion
never been that
they'll have
great.
some of them there, maybe even signed. We'll see. So there it is, man. Some merchandise.
Or even good,
Jay and
really.
Silent Bob Reboot fancy. Speaking of merchandise, guess what? You're gonna love number 6.
More merch?
The Movies Pop-Up is in West Hollywood out here in California, ladies and gentlemen. It is singular.
Another thing I
Derek
can't
Barry and the good
participate in
folks that
because
he
of where
did
I live.
Saved by the Max with. That was a restaurant. It's based on the Max Cafe in Saved by the Bell, the old TV show. They did it first in Chicago. It was a huge hit. So then Derek brought it out here to Los Angeles and replicated it. Did Saved by the Max. That went so well, he did another promotion. He did a restaurant that was Good Burger with Kel, I believe. And so people came in, they got to look at Good Burger stuff and eat Good Burger. He does theme restaurants to movies, TV shows. For example, after that, he did Pollos Hermanos from Breaking Bad.
That would have been
and
so
they had
good.
The trailer, the Winnebago side of it in the building, so you could take pictures with them.
That would have been so fun.
So Derek at one point reached out because we were trying to do like a Movies Pop-Up to promote Jay and Silent Bob Reboot when the movie
One
was
of my favorite
coming out,
shows
and
of all
timing
time.
didn't work, but then Stuart, our licensing guy, was like, "I got this guy Derek, man. He said he'd love
No,
to do a
I don't
Movies
remember
Pop-Up."
the dog in
We were
episode
like,
1.
"What?" And then so we met him. We talked
Sorry.
about like the various versions they've done. I was right away. I was like, I'm in. There's nobody else banging on my door going, let's make movies a real thing. You got to remember back in 1998, like while
Peyton, I feel like there might
that was
be.
the first time we put a movies in a movie. One in Pittsburgh. It was an old Burger King that they literally knocked down.
I might be
3
wrong.
days later
I
after
probably
it was done
am wrong,
shooting
but
outside.
a Kevin Smith or Jay and Silent Bob video game.
2 years ago when we made
For some reason, my brain feels like that exists.
It'd be great if this was actually a thing one day, man. If one day you could buy an egg a movie muffin, like Linda Fiorentino says, egg a movie muffin.
I want
You can buy
to
an egg a
know
movie muffin now at movies.
what
You
it
can buy
tastes
a
like.
smoker,
Damn it.
chicken sandwich like from Jay and Silent Bob Reboot. You could buy a cow tipper, and you could be made of.
I mean, I'm on the
meat, or
East
it could be
Coast, and I
a
know they're
Beyond
putting one in
Burger cow
Jersey, I
tipper, man.
think.
We got meat
But that's
options
like
and vegan
9
options
hours away.
at this movies. Derek is a genius, man. Him and his crew, Floyd, his production designer, they went in and turned this empty restaurant into New Jersey, into movies, into all my flicks. You could stand in front of the Quick Stop and take pictures. You could go to RST Video and take pictures. There's Popular Girl, Fashionable Male, and the rest of it is movies. It is a dream come true, man. And the food is legit good, man. It's, Chef Royce from Secret Lasagna came up with exquisite tasting food. That's the big review I keep hearing from people. Like, this is all fun and shit, and buying merchandise and taking pictures, this is great. But the food is legit good. I'm no I just came from movies before I shot this.
Sometimes they believe it, sometimes they mute
the
it.
first time today, they let walk in.
Need some
like, people were walking
consistency.
by, they're like, you open?
Sound
They let
person.
them come in. And so some guy came in and had a meal, and he wasn't even like a Kevin Smith guy or a movies guy. He was just like, oh, all right, I'll have one of these burgers.
I really
And
like
he
breakfast
left, and he came
food.
back
So
in while
like
I was talking
the
to
egg
Derek.
movie
He
muffin,
wanted another
the
burger.
egg
He's like, this is just good.
movie
And he had another meal.
muffin
So I'm delighted to report
sounds great.
the food is great as well. People dig the food. We did not get closed down because we did not have in-room dining, because they've reclosed a lot of bars,
Flash or
restaurants,
Stargirl,
and
what,
social
Sonic?
gathering places in Los Angeles because of COVID. But with the way movies is set up, you get a reservation time. You show up at that time, and then you're let into the place, and there's like nobody inside but you. And if you want, you can eat on the patio afterwards, or you take your stuff home. But it's very safe, socially distant as hell. Everyone's wearing movie masks and stuff like that. So it's been a real hoot of a success, man. Like, I've had a blast doing
hoot
it. Every once in
nanny?
a while, I pop down, take pictures with
Sorry.
people, and I get free food, man. The Hater Tots are amazing. Yes, Jay and Silent Bob Reboot had Hater Tots in them and stuff. You can get Hater Tots there. You can get the Hater Tots shirt there. You can get all bunch of merchandise there as well, man. Signed stuff, unsigned stuff.
There's so
It's
many
a really
reasons that
cool
I just
experience.
hate living where I live.
Now,
This is one of them
experience
right
has
now.
been so cool. Naturally, people from around the country is like, do it here, bring it here. Is not that easy, opening up a restaurant someplace where you're not going to be every day and stuff. And I'm not the one running. Derek is, and he's already got a restaurant to run. So, we can't jump around and start opening up movies pop-ups and stuff like that. But we thought about what we could do. And Derek came up with a great idea. Goldbelly. These folks are going to help us send out
Who do I think
movie
would
meals
win, Stargirl or
everywhere,
Flash?
all across America. The same way
In like
you
a
get
fight?
those boxed up food making services where you subscribe and you get a box, got a bunch of ingredients, and then you make it yourself. We're doing that with our movie meals, man. So you're going to be able to go to moviespopup.com. If you want to go to movies in person, you go there as well, moviespopup.com. But if you're just like, man, I want to order me some movies, and I live in Ohio, how does that happen? I live in New Jersey, the fictional home of movies and stuff. I live in Pittsburgh, where the movies was born, for heaven's sake. How do I get my hands on this food? You're going to have a chance. Go to moviespopup.com, and you're going to be able to order that food, and they're going to ship it to you overnight. And then you get the box, and you open it up, and you have all the preparation, the food, the fixins, and there's instructions on how to make it. You can make your own cow tipper. You get to make your own so forth and so on. It's going to be lovely, man. So I'm not getting into the restaurant business because, I'm not good at it.
So kind of like
one half of the
a
restaurant business, eating the stuff.
Blue
Thank
Apron,
God I
but
met
it's
Derek and
movies.
stuff, because Derek is great at the restaurant business, and we've had a blast doing this. Hopefully we can keep it going.
All right, so who would win in a fight, Stargirl or Flash?
Because
Flash,
it
easy.
eventually ends. As he
Every
does
day
these
of the
pop-up
week.
restaurants within this one space, it lasts 2-3 months, and then they close it
Better
and start
fighter.
a new one and stuff. Helps keep
And
it creative
he can
and
just
refreshing.
slow time. She can't do
So
anything.
This will end. Movies will stop. The
Done.
in-person version. I think the order version, the Goldbelly version, you'll be able to keep doing and stuff, I believe. But eventually the movies pop up.
Flash alone could defeat the entire JSA right now.
We're chit-chatting about maybe we can actually keep that going. Not in that same place, but there's another place here in Los Angeles where we can make a permanent movies. We'll see. Fingers crossed, man. Dreams come true, kids. Remember? So anything's possible. And I dram of making
is the word he's looking for.
Movies, or at least one movie somewhere existing in the world. When we made Dogma, when we made Jay and Silent Bob Strike Back, and we had a fake movies in that. When we made Clerks
there was
2
a period where I thought movies was a real place.
And in Jay and Silent Bob Reboot, where there was another movies. Each time I was like, man, it'd be nice if this happened one day. And it's happening right now. You can be part of the magic. Go to moviespopup.com, man. All right.
Number 7.
At the New Jersey stop on the Jay and Silent Bob Reboot Roadshow Tour, the very first stop, I announced the Smod Castle was coming. I said, it's opening on 4/20, man. Of course I did. And then COVID happened, and then we went into lockdown and quarantine. So obviously we didn't hit our April date, but thank the Lord, Ernie O'Donnell, Rick Darris from Clerks, man, how much does that weigh? That milk can only weigh 7 pounds. That guy. Ernie has been building Smod Castle. He's a carpenter. So on his free time, he's been going in and building the Smod Castle in New Jersey. Where will it be, you ask? At the Quick Stop building. So where my career began is where my career probably will end, at that little Smod Castle and stuff like that. Hopefully I'll be 90 years old doing shows for 2 old people who remember.
Yes, that is the same reason Peyton. They kept showing it. I was like, and like something in my brain like made me think I had seen it before, like when I was out on vacations and stuff. So I thought, maybe it is real.
They'll show you like Quick Stop up to RST. Then there's a whole other half of the building that kind of keeps going on. So if you've ever been there in person, you're like, this is longer than I realized. This is longer in real life, which is something no lady has ever told me. You will find that we are at the end of the Quick Stop building. So you're going to be able to go buy your snacks, your drinks, your food at Quick Stop. Quick Stop. Cinema history from the National Film Registry, for heaven's sakes. Walk out of Quick Stop, go down to the end of that building, and enter Smod Castle, where we'll be doing shows, man, for like 50 people, a little 50-seater. Last time we did Smod Castle, Hollywood Babylon, Jay and Silent Bob Get Old came out of that. What will come out of this Smod Castle, man? I can't wait to see. So we were hoping to open that on the 10th anniversary since we lost a 4/20 date. We were like, all right, man, this got to be passed over by July. And on July 20th, that'll be or 10th, I think. That's the 10-year anniversary of the opening of Smod Castle. So I was like, that's when we'll open the new Smod Castle in New Jersey, on the 10-year anniversary of the old Smod Castle. But that's not going to happen either, because they're still not allowing the state to open. I talked to Ernie today, and he's just like, I don't think we're going to hit July. Ernie's gut instinct is
right?
earliest it's going to be fall. September, October.
They keep going back and forth on how they're addressing his language.
And for everyone on the East Coast who's been like, man, I miss out on seeing Fat Man Beyond at the Scum and Villainy Cantina in Hollywood on Hollywood Boulevard, or I miss out on seeing Hollywood Babylon at the Improv with you and Ralph and stuff. You're going to have a chance to see me up close and personal in a room so small you can wad up a tissue and throw it at me and probably hurt me. And if it has COVID, it will and stuff. Socially
to stretch out. I got old man knees right now.
It's going to be a blast. And I'll let you know as soon as Smod Castle is about to begin. But I've seen inside from pictures. Ernie shot me all these pictures and stuff. You can go to my YouTube channel, youtube.com/Kevin Smith, and watch making of Smod Castle, 4 videos and stuff that Christian's been shooting with Ernie and stuff. So you could see the place come to life. But man, wait till you get in there. Ernie did something really special. We're gonna have a good time, man. We're gonna have a little stage, man. It's in there. We're gonna put on little shows. It's gonna be amazing. And I used to, put on shows with Ernie when we were at Henry Hudson, long before Clerks, my high school, when back in high school. So, we're getting to do it even later in life. It's important to play up until adulthood, kids. I'm talking about the kind of playing where you like get on a stage and be like, oh,
right,
Peter Pan, even though you're not like that. We're going to be doing live podcasts.
I mean, these are all
movies,
pre-recorded, so I'm sure it's all post-done. It's not like live censoring,
that we can get
but it's still
weddings,
strange that they don't commit to one thing or the other.
You can come do it with us, man.
Like every now and then, it's either just muted or it's bleeped out.
Looking like the fall.
Pick one.
Holy crap! Wait till you hear about number 8.
Kilgore?
A couple of years ago, I got involved with the kids at the Ringling School of Design, Ringling College of Design. I'm
Probably
sorry,
not. Wait, maybe?
in Sarasota, Florida.
Yes.
Design school. They do film stuff and whatnot. So
Kilgore?
David Shapiro invited me down. He runs Semcor production company and stuff. He invited me down to Sarasota to speak at the school, at the Ringling School, and I loved it. I love the energy. I love the kids. Like, people who are getting ready to make movies still have that same mindset that I have. I still love doing it. It's fun. And, you know, they're all piss and vinegar and stuff like that. So, you know, I was like, this is great, man. And he said, you want to come down and shoot some stuff here? I said, yeah, why not? And so David rustled up some loot. And before I had my heart attack, I went down to Sarasota. This is going back a couple years. And we started with the kids at the college making this movie called Killroy Was Here.
Oh, Kilgore. Kilgore is the Flash villain.
Originally, we wrote it as a Krampus movie, and then somebody made a Krampus movie, and so we changed it from a Krampus movie to Killroy instead. Go figure. Basically,
Gorilla God, Gorilla Grodd and King Shark versus Brainwave and Dragon King.
I want to say kind
I
of
think
like
Gorilla
Creep Shows.
Grodd
That's
and
what I
King
grew up
Shark
on, but it's
is
probably
the
more
stronger
cringe to be
team
like,
there.
Like VHS. One of those.
I don't know. Brainwave and Gorilla Grodd would be a good matchup against each other, but King Shark would destroy Dragon King from what I have seen and know of him.
Stories that happen around him, and he's kind of like a kid Avenger. You know, if you with kids, Killroy will show up. And, you know, he looks wonderfully goofy. Bob Kurtzman.
Okay, he said there's going to be a trailer.
And Tusk. You know, I was like,
hope we get to see it.
I need our bad guy to be like burned and melty and like that, but he's got to ultimately kind of look like that Killroy drawing, right? With bald head and a nose that hangs over the fence. Killroy was here. And so Bob designed something that, you know, it's kind of, it's horrifying, but it's also like horrifying and goofy at the same time. I mean, if you look real close when you see Killroy, it looks like he's got a giant for a nose and stuff. But basically it's supposed to be like his features were melted because well, I don't want to spoil it. So in any event, we were working on this flick with the kids, and the kids were absolutely lovely. Some crew from down right there in Florida. And it was so good for the soul, man, because, like, you know, they've got the spirit that like makes making stuff fun. You know, I've talked about being on Cop Out and how it like wasn't a fun experience because of some cats. These kids are the opposite of that. They're like, oh man, this is great. Like, we're making movies. I'm like, we're making movies. This is tremendous. Then I had a heart attack.
Replacing Dragon King with Grundy.
Then
I think that might tip it into Brainwave and Grundy's favor.
Leidenheim fixed my heart, all up good. Stuck a stent in there. So I went back to Sarasota, and the kids came back, and we all went back to work on Killroy. So then we finished shooting Killroy, and it was just bliss. Then we went and made Jay and Silent Bob Reboot. So Killroy kind of went to the back burner. Now that Jay and Silent Bob Reboot is done, Killroy has moved back up to the front, man. And so we're almost finished.
When
with
is
this.
Moose Jaws coming? That's what I want to see. Moose Jaws. Well, Reboot was stuff like priority, but Moose Jaws. I want Moose Jaws. Damn it!
Right here at the San Diego Comic-Con, Kevin Smith Hall H panel, Cyber Version 2020. We're going to give you the world premiere, exclusive debut, if you will, of a trailer.
Yes.
Not a trailer for Killroy Was Here. Movie we've been working on the side for like 2.5, 3 years at this point, man. This is the first look anyone's going to have at it. It's got Jason Mewes in it, of course. It's got Chris Jericho in it, and he's amazing in it. It's got a wonderful cast and a spooky. I'm proud of it, man. I can't wait till people see it because it's fun, and the kids like crushed it, man. Like, there's something to be said for making something with like a bunch of other passionate individuals. I told them from day one, I was like, any idea you have for this?
I really want to watch Moose Jaws. It just sounds so ridiculous, so crazy, yet so basic. I want it.
I'm just like,
just Jay and Silent Bob
best case scenario,
with a murderous moose chasing them.
I'll tell you right now, I get all the credit. So either way,
or well,
good on me.
they're hunting the moose, I guess, would be the parallel.
And stuff. So I always try to give all the kids the credit back, man. The Ringling kids were wonderful. Semcor, Dave Shapiro has been a wonderful partner and stuff. So this is what we've been working on, man. Take a peek right now. The world premiere of a trailer for Killroy was here.
Here we go.
Blind the eyes that cannot see, make deaf the ears that cannot hear, close the mouth that cannot tell, and send the monster back to hell.
Back then, his name was Roy Huggins. When he was your age, he already had a taste for blood.
Holy
What the fuck?
What is happening?
Nothing will stop Killroy if he wants to get you.
Oh, God! God!
You must give me a heart attack. I'm a middle-aged man who eats like and huffs floor cleaner all day.
This is Alicia.
Ralph Garman.
Ernesto.
Hola, amigos. Me llamo Father Pat. Come on out.
The online donations have put us over the top.
It's going to take a lot more money for that heart transplant.
Kid killing boogeyman, that is just some superstitious.
I'll
What
make
the
my
fuck?
special sweet tea.
Gonna come smoke?
Yes! You see that? The gator chaser did it again!
There he is, the Jericho.
Ow!
What the fuck? What the fuck is this shit? Oh, fuck.
Happy, I'm coming to Killroy!
Oh, shit. He looks so goofy.
Better get them all.
Better get the mop. What the
Man,
fuck?
doesn't that look fun? Doesn't it look spooky and creepy and weird and inexpensive? All
Yeah.
the hallmarks of a Kevin Smith.
Oh my god.
You will be able to see that.
I wanna see that
coming
so
up, man,
bad.
probably by early 2021. Fingers crossed is what we're thinking. Maybe by the end of 2020, who knows and stuff. If we even have a 2020, end of 2020. Hopefully we're still all here. And if we are all still here, ladies and gentlemen, next year for San Diego Comic-Con 2021, what a party that one's going to be. Because we all missed each other this year.
What was your
We didn't get to hang out
feelings
with
on
each other.
Tusk
We didn't get to run
Payton?
into one another. We didn't get to look at each other's costumes, cosplay. We didn't get to share ideas. We didn't get to talk about the movies we love. We didn't get to buy overpriced food. We didn't get to not shower as we headed out, man. Like let's be honest, man. I miss con. I even miss the con funk. I don't give a about smelling sweat. I mean, I smell it all the time. On
There's
myself,
there was
but
the
I don't care
muting.
about smelling other people's sweats, other people's farts. I could do that, but other people's sweat, particularly at Comic-Con, oh, that smells like a happy childhood, ladies and gentlemen. And next year, we're all going to be together again. It's going to be a good time. But for this year,
Maybe.
this worked.
We'll see.
It's good enough. Hopefully, my 10 things kept you a little interested for a little bit and stuff like that. Come find me at that Kevin Smith Club.
I can't wait for a trailer for He-Man.
Find me at
I can't wait
Instagram,
for,
Facebook, Twitter. Man, I'm always hanging out, ready to
Moose
chit-chat
Jaws
and try
to
to sell you some
actually
Kevin.
start. What the fuck?
Not just yet, Pat Sajak.
Okay, I was like, what the fuck
I stole
happened to
that
this
line from Mallrats. Did you think
screen?
that I was going to end this Hall H panel without talking about Twilight of the Mallrats, our Mallrats sequel that takes place 25 years after the original? We had such a good time doing Jay and Silent Bob Reboot. That was a movie that sequelized.
I thought that was going to be
18 years prior. You can, by the way, watch a full documentary about the making of Jay and Silent Bob Reboot called Magnum Dopus on Amazon Prime right now. That's also where Jay and Silent Bob Reboot is. So we had such a good time.
I'm going to check that
Going
out.
back into the past and playing with my old toys and whatnot. That's what I wanted to do after my heart attack. All I wanted to do was play with my old toys. So it went well, Jay and Silent Bob Reboot, man. So well, in fact, that like we've been talking to the good folks at Universal about
There was some
doing
great moments
the
in
Mallrats
Tusk,
sequel
man,
that I
but
wanted to do a
it
couple
was
years
so
ago
like
that led to
uncomfortable
Jay and Silent Bob Reboot.
that
So this is a movie, kids. You got to
I've only
remember,
watched it the
like,
one
when it
time.
Came out, everybody hated it. Did no money at the box office. Cost $5 million to make, And then it only
Welcome,
made $2 million at the
Keandre
box
and
office.
John.
It was following Clerks, which everyone loved, and then Mallrats. They were like, ew, critics all over it and whatnot.
Mallrats is
And it
honestly,
took a
I think,
few
my
years,
favorite
man,
one.
But like, it found its audience. Once it went to home video, people were like, I'm like Brody. This movie's like,
Mallrats is my favorite. It's like the easiest. It was the most watchable,
movies and whatnot. So
rewatchable.
it was.
Maybe I just identify with Brody too much.
Kids. No, don't let anybody ever tell you failed. Like they told me with this movie back in '95. You failed. This sucks. 10 years later, this was the movie. Everyone loved it. From 10 years, from 2005 on, suddenly people were like, oh my God, but I love that movie. I would tell people, like, it flopped. And they're like, no, it didn't. I have it on DVD. I'm like, that has nothing to do with what I said. But never let somebody tell you that you failed. Failure.
The
is
Stargirl
not
team
doing
wins
the
that
thing,
one.
making the
They
thing
have
when you
Icicle.
can. It
He
found
wins.
its audience eventually. It just took a minute. So much so that Arrow film video, they do the Blu-ray Arrow, classy
Mallrats
Criterion
is
shoulder
just
to shoulder
so good.
with them Blu-ray BD home video cats who make the best flat out editions of some of your favorite movies and stuff like that. They're doing Mallrats. Mallrats is coming from them very soon. 25th
I've got
anniversary
the
edition
whole View
that has everything
Skewniverse
that's
back
ever
on
been
my
all
shelf
the other
behind the
movies,
green screen.
including, like the TV cut, the weird TV cut, where Jason Mewes is.
I did a full
not Jason
rewatch
Mewes,
of
he's looped by a
everything
guy who
before
just happened to
Reboot
be
came out,
working
so I could
in the
make sure I
sound booth that
didn't
day
miss
because Mewes didn't show
any
up for his
nuggets
appointment. So somebody was like, put
or
that
Easter
guy in,
eggs.
anybody will do. And he's like, Snooch it in huge. Tries his best.
Snooch
So
in the
even
motherfucking
that's
nooch.
included, man, in this legacy edition of Mallrats from Arrow. We're pleased as punch to be involved with that, man. It's nice to be selected by cool people like Arrow. And we're not going to let them down because Mallrats coming back.
Still
You get
Stargirl.
more Mallrats. Never thought you'd get it, but if Jay and Silent Bob reboot,
Kong
whet
versus
your
Godzilla.
appetite with that
I'm
Brody
always on
scene.
Team
Get ready
Godzilla on
for
that one.
all Brody Bruce
Yes.
and Banner Bruce action,
Mallrats
man, when we return
has
to
the
mall
best
in
Stan Lee
Twilight
cameo.
of the Mallrats. Now,
Easy.
I return you to the Kevin Smith who was talking
And then his
trying to get out
last-
of this thing.
What,
already
his
in
cameo
progress.
in
Ladies and gentlemen,
Captain
thank
Marvel
you
was a
for
reference
your
to
time, man.
Mallrats
Thank
too,
God.
because
Look, I
he's
just wanna
reading the
close by
script to
saying
Mallrats
this.
in there. That was one of
This
the
has
one of my
probably been
favorite
one of my
things about
favorite
Captain Marvel was
Hall
that
H
Kevin Smith
Comic-Con
nod in
panels
there.
I've ever done. Granted, there's no crowd, and granted, I can't hear anybody laughing at me or
Yes.
with me.
I'm so
but
glad they got
this
Brody back, and I'm
time,
so
I knew
glad they
for
got Ben Affleck to come
solid
back in,
fact,
and that wasn't
100%
in the game
J.J.
or in the
Abrams
cards
was
at all
not
before.
going to steal my audience.
I loved
Go to a
it.
Star Wars concert. That was never going to happen. Not today. Not in Kev's house. There ain't no concert to go to. Now, when we're done shooting this, we'll turn the camera off and fall into abject silence and wait until next year. Just power down until Comic-Con 2021. I want to thank you for hanging
just
out and watching this. I am at the tail
Turn
end.
off
Let me see the
until
time.
next year.
5 minutes from the end of a 72-hour fast. I'm an intermittent faster. So I get to eat. And I knew,
honestly,
I timed it so that I
not
was gonna
really.
shoot this panel. And then when this panel was
I'm
over,
not sure.
manja. So thank you for keeping me busy. I hit my mark. Now I'm going to eat some
Because
food,
there's only 3 episodes of that left. There's only 2 episodes of Doom Patrol left.
Maybe even
And then
before, let's
it's-
be honest, before
I mean, there's no
best thing in
new
this world to do
shows.
is eat food. Hopefully, you've been snacking out this
Until
whole time, man. Another great thing to do: San Diego
January
Comic-Con
of
International. We're gonna
2021.
be together in 2021. Thanks for hanging out, man. I'm Kevin Smith, and hey, go make some of your dreams come true today.
I mean, no, The Boys season 2 comes out, but they don't release those weekly. So doing a show that's like dropped all at once, I don't know how to do that. An effective way to do that. I'm probably just going to review The Boys. Because it'd be so time consuming to do it, but I don't know. There won't be any other shows going on right there, but I just don't know, like, view wise and effort wise, if it would be worth it in the long run to try. I might do like a highlight reel of all the what the fuck moments while I'm watching it, rather than, because I think like one of the problems with like shows that drop all at once is like hard to keep up with, because most people that are really interested are going to binge it like the moment it comes out. And that's one of the reasons like shows like, like Stranger Things, the Marvel Netflix shows, stuff like that, when they drop, people just binge it, get it out of the way. You don't like, there's not a lot of conversation that carries on over the following weeks. It all happens within like the week or so, or the couple weeks it drops. Like there's a little bit of a fall off whenever, as opposed to when a show releases one episode week to week. It allows you to linger on it, think about it, and talk about it. So I don't know, because this will be the first time since I've started doing TV show reactions that there will be this big thing happening that is a binge show like that. Everything else that I do, like it's the stuff that's on TV with the Arrowverse, with the DC stuff, comes out week to week. Even, and then the Disney Plus stuff, like John just said, Mandalorian season 2 comes out this fall. That'll be another one. That one I'll be covering. I covered season 1, and that was a blast. But again, that's another week to week thing. It's a lot easier to schedule something and the interests stay there. So I'm still trying to figure out what I want to do for The Boys, because I love The Boys so much. That show was so good. So many surprises. So I don't know. I just don't know if it would be worth it, because it's really time consuming, honestly, doing like full TV show reactions. That's why I only do like a max of 2 at any given time, because I work full time too. So I don't know. I might leave it up to you guys. See what the community wants to do with that. We got some time to figure it out. Mandalorian, 100% doing that as it's coming out. Cannot wait. That's going to be the best thing coming about. But yeah, I mean, all of our DC shows, I mean, there's nothing till January once Doom Patrol and Stargirl wrap. I mean, Swamp Thing is doing a rerun of its first season on CW, but I've already seen and reviewed Swamp Thing. I got a review on the channel for it. So I don't know. It's going to be an interesting time, because like it's just like things are very sparsed out. And yeah, we'll see how it all goes. Warrior Nun and Cursed. They started doing that. I feel that's the best way to get a show out there and have it like linger and be thought about and keep the conversation going. Because then it's just like, well, people watch it at different paces if it's all out at once. So I don't know. I know what I'm thinking, but I'm having a hard time getting it out of my mouth. Because man, Witcher was awesome. The Boys is awesome. Stuff like that. And those all dropped all at once. We'll see. We'll see how it all goes and pans out. I just love hearing Kevin Smith talk. I could have him just like talking in the background. I was still like debating on whether or not I was even going to stream this. I had it on my schedule. And when I was thinking about it, I was like, people probably won't show up anyway. But thank you guys so much. It's been a lot of fun. Just kind of talking about it and like commenting on Kevin Smith, Sonic, really liking these versus questions and these Stargirl and Flash questions and stuff like that, which I really appreciate. Week to week is definitely better, John. I agree. It works better and keeps people talking and interested. It's more engaging that way, because people can forget about a show once they've watched it. Once you get it out of the way and it's done, you're less likely to rewatch it. And the conversation's going to burn out a lot quicker whenever they do that. I really hope Harley Quinn gets a 3rd season too. And I honestly regret not reacting to seasons 1 and 2, because that show's so good. So good. Right. And I think what was different about that before was back when like binge culture was the thing, like when Netflix really was still the only person in the game. That was the only way they knew how to do it. That's they pumped it out, they put it on. There wasn't anybody really competing against that. Then you had other people developing content, their own streaming platforms like HBO, the success of Game of Thrones and stuff like that with HBO Now, Go, and now Max. And then stuff on the DC Universe, stuff on Amazon, stuff on Hulu. They started doing the week to week. And you just see more engagement and more numbers because there's more people designing programming for streaming services as if it was a TV show on cable, and it just works out better in the long run and for the community and the health of the growth of the show. I don't know. It's cool. If we're talking Darkseid from the comics, Darkseid can beat Thanos without the Infinity Stones. I mean, like, sorry, Thanos can have the Infinity Stones and Darkseid would still beat him in the long run. He's immortal for one. But yeah, it was really fun. That Killroy looks really fun. It looks dark but also hilarious. I don't really like the way it's shot, the way it feels, the tone for it. It does feel very Kevin Smith. It has a little bit of like a Scream kind of quality to it as far as what it's the kind of the tone and approach is, a little meta and self-aware. So we'll see. Yeah. I don't know, Peyton. I think right now it can go either way. Binge I don't know. I just don't think binging can beat like staggered releases, you know? Because then you hunger for the next episode. You're like, that cliffhanger. I can't just immediately get the answer. And you're like, what does it mean? What does this happen? What's going to happen? I don't know. I don't know. Like, I feel like the psychology between it, it's just like, I don't think binging can beat it, even in our current situation. I think more things are being binged. I think a lot of people are watching a lot of older content now, binging a lot of stuff that's already been aired in their full seasons. There's been some stuff that I've went back and watched because I, either lost track of it or hadn't gone back to it or anything like that. Like Hannibal, which I reviewed recently too. That was a show I started 2 years ago, and for whatever reason, I only got a couple episodes into season 1, dropped it for a little while, and here a couple months ago, just decided to pick it back up and finished it because it was on Amazon Prime. Now it's on Netflix. I think a lot of people are going back and watching a lot of stuff that either they've been avoiding or hadn't had time to watch. So I think that personally, that's just my observation. I'm not saying I'm right or you're wrong or anything like that. That's just the vibe I get. Yeah. It's 3 a.m. where you are right now, Sonic. Nice. It's a little late for you then, isn't it? You mean getting to bed. I'm not one that can talk though. I went to bed at like 4:30 a.m. last night. I've been on vacation the past couple of days, so my sleep schedule is not what it should be. And I have one day before I go back to work to get that corrected. Yeah, I heard that too. The Walking Dead is airing their season finale early. Or not early. The season finale for season 10 is going to air in October. And then there's just going to be 6 extra episodes. That's not season 10, but also not season 11. I read about that and I was so confused. Like, it's not a season. I don't know what it is. What is it? Why you do this? I feel like it's to make like half a season or something. I don't know. I'm really curious to see how that pans out. The Walking Dead is just, I still watch it because I feel like I have to, because I've put so much time into it that I have to see it through. So I'll still be watching it. I won't be covering it. by any stretch of the imagination. That's something I'll watch on my own time, just for me. But yeah, I think we're going to sign off, guys. Kind of keep it isolated here to the Kevin Smith stuff. So I know we've been talking about a little bit of everything. But yeah, thank you everybody for tuning in and participating and carry on this conversation. I'm really liking these live streams. Might do some more of them here. I don't know. It's just a lot of fun. I don't do them a lot. I've been kind of nervous about doing them. I mean, I stream on Twitch or whatever, but that's just a different category. But I don't know. It's really fun. So I might start doing it more. And so keep an eye out. See if we like that. So thanks everybody for tuning in. I'll catch you guys next time.